Hi everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and you reach I Am Ministries. I Am Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. And I just want to say a couple of things. I'm keeping my voice down because I don't have my I Am Ministries headquarters built up yet in the Philippines. So actually, I'm near my baby now and my wife, and they're both sleeping. And my wife is 6 months pregnant, and so I don't want to wake her up. So I can't be as bold as I want to be. And another thing is raining in the background. Okay, so those two things, and there might be other noises like roosters crowing and stuff like that. So please forgive me for that. And there you go, right on cue. Now I want to give you this verse today because we're going to be speaking about the resurrection of the body, the soma. Okay, sigma, omega, mu. Nowadays called me alpha, right? So let's get to it. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 42 and 43 says this, quote, and let's read even verse 44, quote, so also is the anastasis, the resurrection of the dead. It is sown a perishable body. It is raised an imperishable body. Now let's read verse 43. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. Okay? And let's read also verse 44 from the NASB. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. Okay? And let's read the rest of it. If there is a natural body, there is also a spiritual body. Okay? So, what this is not saying, which is the royal method to start with, this is not saying that the body that's put into the tomb, okay, or even in the case of Jesus, the body that's put into the tomb is a different body from the one that was put into the tomb, or in our situations, put into a tomb or put into the grave or whatever the case may be. Okay? It will be the same body. Okay? The same body. As a matter of fact, this chapter says that the mortal shall put on immortality. Okay? It shall put on immortality. It's not done away with the mortal. Okay? Now, the key words here, okay, for this particular study, okay, it is, so also is the resurrection of the necron, of the dead, right? Probably is in the genitive plural. We'll check it out. It is sown, okay? It is sown. What do you mean it is sown? Well, I mean, you know, you have a plant, and you sow it. You put it into the ground, right? Okay. Like the body, you put the body into the ground, or whatever the case may be, or into the sea. Okay, it is sown. That body, because body is used several times here. Okay, in the English anyway. A perishable body. Okay, so it looks like the word body or soma is not there in the Greek. But anyway, it is raised an imperishable body. So that it refers back, okay, to the it that was sown. The it that is raised, okay, refers back to the it that was sown. Or the body that is resurrected from the dead has the one-to-one correspondence with the body that went into, let's say, the grave. Is that clear? So when Jehovah's Witnesses say, in actually the case of Jesus, there was no imperishable body, or there wasn't any corruptible body, or there wasn't any things like that. It's sinful. The sinful nature has nothing to do with Christ. You know what I'm saying? He came in the likeness of sinful flesh. Philippians chapter 2. Okay, so let's distinguish two things. Okay, we already distinguished the two the body the body of the believer and the body of Christ. Okay, I mean, one was with sin, us, and one is without sin. Okay, Jesus Christ our Lord, his body. Okay, not the spirit, but the body knew no sin. Okay, and the spirit knew no sin either, but I'm not talking about that. You understand what I mean? So the resurrection of Jesus, okay, was a resurrection according to his birthday suit. What do you mean by birthday suit? Well, the body that he was born with is the body that was raised from the dead. The body that he was given at his birth in Bethlehem, the house of bread. You understand what I mean? Okay, around 2,000 years ago. The body that he had as a child when it went into the temple of Jerusalem. Okay, and he was asking them questions and things like that, and discussing things with the leaders. The body that he had as a teenager is the same body that he had for 33 years plus. Okay, he had a body on this earth for 33 years. Okay, 33 years. He had a body. He had the same body that he had was the same body that was crucified, and that same body that he had before, okay, before the resurrection is the same body that was resurrected from the dead. It wasn't another body. It was the same body. Destroy this na'an, Greek word na'an, nu, alpha, omicron, nowadays called omicron, nu. Okay, nowadays called ni, but still, Naon, temple. Destroy this temple. And in 3 days, I will raise it up again. Okay, it. That third person personal pronoun refers back to the nearest antecedent, which is na'an. Okay, a temple. So that temple is the it that will be raised, egero, in the future tense. There's no sigma there, but it doesn't need it. There's a rho there. That's why, one of the reasons why there's no sigma, right? That temple was raised from the dead. He was talking about the temple of his body. Now, the case of the believer, okay, the body dies, okay, and it might not be buried in the tomb like Jesus' body was, right? So, I mean, the temple that's I'll say buried for now, right? Also, that body will be raised from the dead. Your very birthday suit, the birthday suit that you had when you were born, that's your birthday suit. Your skin, your bones, whatever the case may be, flesh, sark, Greek word sark, lexical form sarx. Okay, that body, the Greek word soma for body, Greek word or, flesh. Okay, or. A Hebrew word, or I should say, that appears along with basar, okay, in around verse 25 of chapter 19 of the book of Job, the book of Job. You understand what I'm saying? That the worms destroy. I don't think the worms appears there, but the worms destroy this flesh, Hebrew word, or yet my skin, or yet in my flesh, Greek word basar, I will see God. See, he's going to see God in his flesh. Okay, he was talking about his, when my Redeemer, and let's read that. Let's check that out, and we'll go to the Greek of this text, and we'll deal with the witnesses, so-called Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, they're not the only group, but they're one of the groups that don't believe in the bodily resurrection of Jesus, and they don't believe that our bodies are going to be raised from the dead. Okay, they just pay a lot of lip service to that, but I didn't really need to do that. Okay, let's go to the book of Job. You understand what I'm saying? The book of Job, and it's right here, and chapter 19 is right around here. Okay, let's check this out. And verse 25. Okay, that's on the left-hand corner. And so let's read it from the NASB. As for me, said Job, I know that my Redeemer liveth, and at the last, So it's not talking about the time that he's living in when he's writing this, if he indeed wrote it. Okay, Job lived at the time of Genesis. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Before Moses, you understand what I'm saying? I know my Redeemer lives, and at the last, you see, probably last day, was at the last. That's a good clue to tell the witnesses, okay? Oh, but it's just talking about, Job right there, his flesh was destroyed. No, it's not, because it's not the last. I know my Redeemer live, and at the last, he will take his stand. He will take his stand on the earth. Mount of Olives, there you go, right? See, he will. That's in the future tense. You understand what I'm saying? That's a helping verb, will. Okay, you understand what I mean? Now, verse 26. Even after my skin is destroyed, okay, yet from my flesh. Does it say from my spirit? From my flesh I shall see God. Second. Hello. Come in. Come in. Yes. Hey. Oh. Come in. I thought it was somebody in the store over here. Okay? That's my chicken, guys, from the morning. That's my chicken, that's my breakfast, and I'm in the Philippines now. And so I went to somebody's house and they sell chicken in the morning. And so that's my breakfast, right? Hanging on the table. Okay, on the table. Can't be hanging on the table, right? No, I just put it on the table. My English is getting horrible here in the Philippines. Horrible. Thank God I could still read. That's not to imply that the Philippines, can't read or anything like that. They just can't speak good English, some of them, okay? It's just all there's to it. That's just a fact, okay? Not everybody, but I'm just saying. Even after my skin, Hebrew word or, is destroyed, yet from my flesh, Greek word basar, I shall see God. You see, from my flesh. Now let's keep on reading here. This is quite clear. Verse 27. Whom I myself, that's an adjectival intensive, right? Whom I myself shall behold. Now that's a deep contemplation. Behold, that's a very strong word. Behold, and whom my eyes, will see, and not another. Now let's stop right there. Oh, okay, let me see, my heart faints within me, and on it goes. But it says my own eyes. He's going to have eyes also at the resurrection. Now, again, the clues are quite clear over here in the text. If you're a JW, you've been deceived from the tower. You haven't been taught these verses, okay? And I'm not giving you just one verse. I'm giving you several verses of scripture. Usually, the tower gives us, one verse, okay? Not that I'm on the tower. I'm saying when they come to your door, right? When I was in New York, okay, when they came to my door, that's what I'm talking about. They give us, when they argue with us, when they debate with us, okay, they give us John 17:3. One verse. They don't look at the whole entire chapter, just one verse. They give us, They give us John chapter 14, verse 28, or John chapter 15, verse 28. Just one verse. They don't look at the whole chapter. Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 4. They don't even know why it was written. And they just give us this, just spit out this verse. These verses. You understand what I'm saying? Only one verse. Very shallow thinkers. Okay? They don't know any Hebrew. They don't know any Greek. They don't. Just because you carry a lexicon with you, whatever the case may be, lines or whatever, nice lexicons, it doesn't mean you know, okay, how things work. Okay, you understand what I mean? And you got a lot of eggheads at the tower. They carry their vines and they carry their theirs, and oh well, it's just like, for example, and I'll get into this again. Actually, I was speaking to Tony from Florida, and I hope he's out of the tower. He's a very dear person. Has a family. I mean, he has kids, has a wife. I mean, and so incidentally, he said if the 144,000 are all dead, well then he's going to become an atheist because his so-called Christianity depends on a false prophecy, okay, done about 100 years ago. Okay. So, I mean, over 100 years ago, right? So, I mean, if they're all dead, and then they practically all are, okay? Where's his Christianity? You see? You can't depend on one person, Joseph Smith in the Mormon Church or Charles Taze Russell from the, who incidentally went to the 2nd grade, and then Charles Taze Russell went to the 7th grade as your foundation. I mean, and Rutherford said millions now living will never die, and they're all dead. Give me a break. So you guys have been deceived, and you have to get out of there. Not only for your soul's sake, but your family's soul's sake. Okay? And their bodies. Because you don't want their bodies to be in fire and torture. Where a worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And, unquenchable fire, chapter 3 of Matthew. And it says over here, as for me, I know that my Redeemer liveth, okay, lives. And at the last. So that's one clue that it's not at the time of Job. At the last. Meaning at the time of Job, during his earthly, I'll call it his earthly life before Moses. There you go, okay? At the last. So that's one clue. He will take his stand. Okay? So he has to take a stand in the future. Meaning the Redeemer, Christ. Okay? He has to come. He has to take a stand. He didn't take a stand yet. Okay, so that's another clue. On the earth. Very specific. And there's this prophecies, Zechariah, and things like that. And that he will, stand at the Mount of Olives. Okay? It's a specific prophecy of that on the earth. Verse 26. Even after my skin is destroyed, it says over there. But wait a minute. His skin is already destroyed. Okay? As a matter of fact, he was healed. He was healed after this because he had, relations with his first wife. God forbid, though. Curse God and die, her. But he had other children, so he had sexual contact. So he got better. You understand what I mean? I'm just saying the facts, guys. I remember one day when I was like in the 8th grade, and this woman from the zoo or whatever was showing me a turtle and showing me how turtles mate and stuff like that, and I started giggling. And she said, "Well, that's the facts of life." So we're not kids here, you understand what I mean? And there are kids out there. Well, I mean, I'm just saying the obvious, and kids know more nowadays than we knew. You know what I mean? But it says over here, even after my skin is destroyed. Okay? His skin was smitten from the sole of his foot to the feet to the top of his head. Satan struck Job. You understand what I'm saying? It was already destroyed. Even after my skin is destroyed. Okay? Yet from my flesh I shall see God. Okay? Now, it doesn't say from my spirit, like, Samuel was in Sheol, and then, he was seeing Abraham, and he probably saw God, and it's not talking about that, because he didn't have any flesh. When you went to Sheol, you didn't take your body with you. Just like, Jesus, when he went to Sheol to preach, okay? And as recorded, right, in, verses 18 and 19 of 1 Peter chapter 3, he didn't take his body along with him, okay? We all know that. He went to his, he went in his soul existence to Sheol to preach. And so he was very much alive, by the way. There was a lot of activity going on. Okay? He was preaching. When did he preach? To the souls that were in prison at the time of Noah. Well, he didn't go, after he went to heaven. Okay? He wasn't there, he wasn't there after the ascension. He went to heaven. So that's not Sheol. So, I mean, he didn't do that in his earthly ministry, preach to people in Sheol at the time of Noah, because they weren't around. They were deep, they were under the earth, deep under the earth. Okay? The heart of the earth, you understand what I'm saying? That's what these people were. According to Matthew chapter 12, you understand what I'm saying? He's going to be there in the heart of the earth. That's what it says. The people will bow down to Christ, okay, under the earthly things, on the earth and under the earth. Philippians chapter 2. Is that clear? So I'm just saying, I mean, so I shall see God. Well, that's in the future. Probably I shall see blepso, probably like that in the Greek Septuagint, if he even has it though. Let's look at it real quickly, okay? And then I could look at this, in another session, according to the Greek, because we're looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 42 and 43. But let's look at it, and it might not be there, because sometimes things are just not there in the Greek Septuagint though, So hopefully it's there. I know it's there in the Hebrew, so we'll look at that. That's easy to look at. But I'm just saying, does it have it in the book of Job? Every single of these words and verses, well, will remain to be seen. We'll check it out. Okay. Job is right here. Okay. So let's look at 19. Okay, 19 is right here. Okay, hopefully I hit that okay. And then it's, let me see, 25. We'll start with 25, okay, you understand? So let's get there. So let's see, Uda, Uda, Oida. So that's, I know, right, Oida. 4, and that's guard as opposed positive that, Hati. Okay, let me see. It says Aenaas, Estin, Ha, Cluain, Me, Melon. Okay. Now melon. Okay. That's first of all, the me is has to do with his redeemer. Me, that's an accusative case construction. First person personal pronoun from the ego paradigm. Ego mumoy me, and melon, okay, that he that he's about to do something. Okay, all right. Epi, that's a preposition upon the earth, gaze, and that's in the genitive, upon the earth. So that's probably the genitive of place. Okay, I would say this is a genitive of place. Gaze. Let's go to verse 26. Now, Anastesai, okay, and he will rise. Anastesai, he will rise. Okay. Taderma. Let me see. Mu. Okay, that's skin. I think we get dermatology out of that, though. Derma. Okay, and that's a neuter article right in front of it. So that word, like soma, is in a neuter construction. Derma is spelled out delta epsilon rho. Mu nowadays called me alpha, and the article is right in front of it. Okay, and that's a neuter article from the singular part of the paradigm. Okay. Now, mu of me, the flesh of me, or the skin of me. Okay, mu. And then let me see, anatlo. Okay, anatlo, ta anatlo, tauta, para, gar, kuriu, tauta, moi. Let me see. Sunete leste. Okay, sunete leste. And I'm trying to see. It says over here, kuriu. It says over here, kuriu. Instead of God here, though. And then sometimes kuriu is translates that word 27. Okay, and it says over here, ha ego emauto sune pistamai ha. Here goes, ha ophthalmos mu. This is what I wanted to see. My eyes. You see? My eyes. Okay? He oraken. And then as this that's from Horao. Okay? He oraken. I think that's in the perfect tense. He oraken. And not okay, and not alas, and that's other. Alas. There's 7 Greek words for other, for another, I should say, in Vine's Complete Expository Dictionary of Old and New Testament Words. I believe it's on page 451. 7 Greek words: alas, heteros, hais, loipos, alelan. I mean, all of these different Greek words that mean other. Alas, I think, is another word. I think is in that pool. There's 5 Greek words in the list that Mounce gives in his Mounce's Complete Expository Dictionary of Old and New Testament Words. Okay? But what I'm saying is that his eyes shall see. Okay? His eyes shall see. And that's the tribbles, guys. Sorry about that. Let me put this down like that. Got the Star Trek tribbles over here. That's my notification sound, which gets very irritating. Okay, when you you know what I mean? When you're doing something, when you're recording something. But over here it says very clearly, okay, anastesai, okay. It says ta derma mu ta and it says ta anatlon, and then tauta para gar kuriu tauta moi. So over here it says that he's going to be seeing him with his own eyes after his flesh is destroyed. And it doesn't have the Greek word sarx, it doesn't have the Greek word soma, but derma means skin. Okay, so that's just the deal. Let's look at the Hebrew. Where's the Hebrew Bible interlinear here? Let's check this out. Let's go to the book of Job, though. Book of Job. And let's just check it out. Let me see over here, and that's Job right here. All right. And I already gave you the Hebrew, but I just want to confirm this. Okay, so this is okay. Let's go to it has a lot of chapters. It has like around 42 chapters, though. This is a big book. Very big book. 19, and then you have okay, so you have in the 20s here, 25 though. So let's check that out. Hopefully it coincides. That's just the deal. It says over here, okay, for, as, have, I, for I, so that's ani over there, and they got the wow there, got the wa or really wa or va for four, and then you got ani there for I, okay, aleph, nu, and then yod, and then no, okay, yada, right? That's the word there for no, yada. Okay, that's probably where you get the Star Wars Yoda from. Okay, very wise little creature, human wisdom anyway. Redeemer, and that's the word. Let me put it up a little bit. I can't. Let me get the magnification because it's hard to see for me anyway. Let's see over here. This, and that, and let's get back to this. Okay, now where's okay, Redeemer. Let me see, check this out what the word is for Redeemer there. And I'll be okay, go Ali. Go Ali. That's a gimel. Okay, go Ali. And that's a gimel with a hardening dagish, so it's good with an O class over it, Holam O class, so that's go. They have the aleph with the patach, and then you have the lamet with the I class underneath it. Herek I class, one dot is an I, and then the yod acting like a vowel, so that's li. Okay, Redeemer. I know my Redeemer. Okay, lives. Okay, now what's the word for live over here? That's probably the word to be. Okay, that's high. Okay, that's high. That's is that a chet? That's not a chet though. That's not a hey. That's a chet though. That's a ch though. That's not a hey. That's a chet. That's a chai. Okay. That's not like the letter in the Tetragrammaton. It looks like it, but it's not. And then and at the last. Okay, and at the last. And at the last on, and that's al. Okay, it's a preposition. The earth, and that's we. See over here. Lives, and then sorry about that, guys. The earth. The word for earth here, very important. The earth. Okay. Afar. Okay. And that's ayin with the kamets, pay with the kamets, and resh, par. And then gaze in Greek. He shall stand. He shall stand over there. What's that? Let's check it out. He will stand. It's in the future there. He will stand. And that's the word. Okay, he will stand. That's the word. Yakum. Okay, Yakum. That's yod with the kamets. Kof, that's a Q. Remember, you read Hebrew from right to left, and then wow or vav with the U class, right? And then you have final mem, like in Moses' name, okay? Yaqub, okay? And then you have a YA there, and then QUM. Well, the spelling is in Hebrew is Yod with the kametz, Kof, and then Wow with the U with the U class, and then final mem. Okay, so this is for the future. He shall stand. Okay, he will stand. Well, absolutely, he will stand. Well, I mean, it's necessary for Jesus to come back to raise the dead. And after my skin, and that's the Hebrew word, actually ori, because it's possessive there, right? Ori, and that's my skin. So I'm under the words my skin, okay? Because the yod over there in the last part of that word, or Hebrew word, is actually underneath the y of my. Ori, skin. That's ayin, which is a peculiar letter. It can be silent, okay? And then you have the vav or the wow with the holem o class. So that's yo, right? That's the first syllable. And the second syllable consists of an R, which is a haresh. It's like an opposite side R. I'm right underneath the S. And then you have a dot underneath that. That's the hirek. That's an I class. Okay, so if you see a dot underneath a letter, you're looking at the I. If you see a dot over the letter, you're probably looking at an O class. Okay, the sheen dot also can be used as an O class dot, like Moshe. And they have the yod acting like a vowel, so that's E. Okay, ori. Okay, now Hebrew people can pronounce this much more than I can, better, because they're Hebrews. It's just like if they were to pronounce Spanish, they wouldn't be able to do it like I can. You understand what I mean? But I'm giving you the letters. I'm giving you the best of my ability to pronunciation, ori, and maybe you could go to your nearest synagogue and ask them how to say this more perfectly. But ori, I'm doing the best I can. I'm giving you the letters, ayin and vav with the O class, and resh with the I class, and then yod. I mean, at least I'm giving you that. At least I'm pointing you to the right direction. Now destroyed. Now what's that? Let's check this out. Okay. And that's all right. That's neep. Okay, neep fu. Okay, it's like kung fu, right? Neep fu. Okay, that's a nu. Okay, equal to the noon. Actually, that's a noon. Sorry about that. In Hebrew, it's a noon. Noon. The N is called noon, like good afternoon. In Greek, you got the no. Over here, you got the I class right underneath the consonant noon. So you have ni. Okay, you have the I class right underneath it. So you pronounce the consonant, and then you pronounce the letter, unless the consonant is silent. And you just pronounce you pronounce the consonant and then the vowel, unless the consonant is silent, like aleph, and so you just pronounce the vowel underneath it in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So this is ni, and then that's another letter to the syllable, and it's a hardening dogish underneath. Let me see if it's a doubling dogish or hardening dogish. I forgot that. Let me see here for a second. Okay, so you got actually there's a doubling dogish. Okay, in the pay. Okay, so I didn't see that. So the nu and then the I is ni, but there's a couple of Q's here, and it reduplicated. So there's a doubling dogish in the cough. That's a cough. It looks like a P, but it's a cough. Right underneath the word destroyed. You see that You read Hebrew from right to left. That's the second letter. You see that letter that looks like a P in Hebrew a little bit? It's not a P. It's a Q. It's called Kof. Kof. So there's a dot in the middle of that. Now, when there's a dot, okay, in the middle of specific letters in Hebrew, the letter can double. In other instances, when there's a dot, the letter can harden. Okay, like the B. Okay, but in this situation, the cough is being reduplicated by the little tiny dot. It's a doubling doggish. So you actually take. It's just like almost like mathematics. You know, you're borrowing from that P, that Q, a Q, and you're putting it with the first syllable. So it's actually nick. And then you have another a Q. So then you actually put it with the schwa. So you pronounce that Q first, and then the schwa after. Then you have ke. Okay, and so nick ke, and then you have the pe, and then after that you have a vav or a wow with a U class dot in the middle, and so that's just a deal. So then you have pu. Okay. Nikepu. Okay, destroyed. Let's see here. Destroyed. I know. I have I know there. I know. And then you have I know my flesh. In my flesh, actually, so I have to have a preposition there, right? In my flesh. That in my flesh. Let's check that out. That in my flesh. Okay. So new. Okay, you have new. You have the I'm sorry. You have over here a wow. So woo. And then you have the M with an I class. So me. And then the bait reduplicates. Okay, so actually new meeb be. Okay, using the second B with the schwa, and then sa. That's the. It looks like a W, but that's a sin or a sin in Hebrew. Mr. Spock actually called this sin. So it's not a sin to call shin sin. Okay, because he was Hebrew in real life, Leonard Nimoy, and he called it shin or sin. Okay, according to the dots. But I'm just saying. And in modern Hebrew, there aren't any dots like that. Okay. They have the A class underneath that, so that's sa, and then you have ri. Okay, you have oresh showing possession, the I class underneath that, and then the yod. Okay, so you have over here numib besari. Okay, and that's my flesh. Okay, remember that basar. Okay, basar, and it's right here. This is the word basar right here. Okay, remember the lexical form is basar. It's right over there, right underneath the Strong's number of index 1320. It has H because it's the Hebrew side of Strong's. You understand what I'm saying? So you have the bait. You see, you have the hardening doggish right. I'm right at the bottom. Let me put it in the middle. Okay, so I'm right underneath 1320, and so you have bit, which means like of house, right? But it's a B in Hebrew, like babakasha, right? But this bait is hard because you had that dot in the middle. Okay, that's hardening this. It's not doubling it, but it's hardening this. So when there's a dot in specific letters, it hardens, and when there's a dot in other letters, okay, it doubles. Okay, so so we have here, okay, ba. That's a T looking thingy underneath that consonant bit, right? And so that's kamets. Okay, it could be an old class also, but it's acting like a here, ba, and then you have a scene or you have a scene here, okay, sheen with scene, and you have the dot is on the opposite side, is on the upper left hand corner, so that's an S. So you have the comments underneath it, so that's sa, and then you have the resh, and so that's all. Okay, that's it means head in Hebrew. Actually, it has to do with rosh, it has to do with a head. So that's basar. Okay, and that means flesh. There's a different construction, and I was gonna say this. Okay, it's just like you have to be careful with the witnesses. Okay, because they're gonna say, well, the only thing they can do is like look at a lexicon. So some of these people, these dear people at the tower, they can't read Hebrew and Greek. Okay, anything at all. I mean, so they're gonna say, well, I see the word kol in my Hebrew lexicon according to Proverbs chapter 8. And what do you mean she calls or she cries or whatever the case may be? What do you mean, Angela? I don't see a she cries or she calls. I see, calls in the lexicon. Yeah, but it doesn't have the hey in the lexicon. That's the problem. Unless you're talking about Brown, Driver, and Briggs. Okay? If you're talking about Brown, Driver, and Briggs, it's going to give you all the constructions. Okay? I mean, the heading is going to give you, the lexical form. Okay, fine. But in the text itself of Proverbs chapter 8, it's telling you that wisdom is not logos because it's female. Okay? Logos is masculine, singular, and nominative. Okay? Has nothing to do with feminine gender at all. Okay, I know there's grammatical gender and natural gender. I understand that, but you cannot press logos into Proverbs chapter 8 that he was brought forth because wisdom was brought forth. She cries. She calls. You understand what I'm saying? She's at the gates. So that's just the deal. So just tell them that the text has a different construction. In that situation, it has a hey, okay, cola, like Coca-Cola, she calls, or whatever the case may be. You understand what I mean? So the construction, it will be different sometimes from the text. The construction in the text will be sometimes different from the lexical form. You understand what I'm saying? Just like Amy is a good example. Amy right there. You got a whole bunch of different constructions for Amy. You understand what I mean? You go to Eston in the text of the Bible, and when you trace it, you're gonna see Amy. You look at Ain in John 1:1 A, B, and C. Well, it's not gonna show you Ain in a lexicon unless they're specifically talking about it. But the heading of it is gonna be Amy. That's just it. So then it goes on to say, I shall see. Okay, I shall see. It says over here, I shall see God. Elohim. Okay, that's in the plural form. Okay, Elohim. I shall see God. Let me see over here, actually, though. I don't think there's in a plural form at all. Actually, is, let me see. Elua. It says over here. Eloa. It says over here, Eloa. Elo, Elo. It says Elo, Eloah, Eloah. Okay, Eloah. Alpha, what's the Segol? And then you have Lamet, okay, with whole and O class over the vowel Vav. And then you have Hey with the Pathach. Okay, Eloah. That's just it. Now, this is tagged by 433, actually. 433, and not 430, like Elohim is. You understand? And then you have I shall see. Okay, in my flesh I shall see God. And what's that? So that's over here, Okay, That's Aleph with a E class, okay. And then you have the Chet, so that's and then the E class, okay, Che, right? And then you have the Z in Hebrew with an E class, okay. And that's Che, Ze, and you don't pronounce the He, okay. I will see, Cheze. You know what I'm saying? I will see. Okay? That's just all there is to it. Now, let me look at the Greek Septuagint because I wanted to see the future tense there. Okay? Let's see if we can check that out. Greek Septuagint, Job. Let me see if it has it here. He will stand. Let me see. He will stand. You have a future tense formative sigma there. I didn't point that out. Okay, right before the personal ending. Okay, and anaste, that eta lengthen from epsilon, I believe. Okay, like in the word stesetai in Micah chapter 5 verse 3. Stesetai there. He will rise. Okay. So he will stand here, anastesai, and that sigma is the future tense formative in that word. So I didn't point that out. That's for the future. You understand? It's like blepso, I will see. Okay, but blepso, you have the psi there. You have the psi there. In that situation, you have psi. Okay, that's an S in that letter, psi. Let me see, where am I at again over here? Anastesai. That's in the future tense. It's a future tense formative. Actually, the letter sigma means to synchronize. Okay, and synchronize. And though my flesh ta derma mu let me see, anatlon tauta para gar kuriu tauta moi. Let me see. I wanna see something else over here. The eyes of me, and I already pointed that out. But this points out to the future because it was recorded in the first line. Anastesai. Okay, anastesai, actually. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians, though, okay, because I harping a lot on this. Okay, so let's get back to this. Okay, 1 Corinthians. Now we established the fact that we will have bodies at the last day, right? Now, it's good to establish the fact of the one-to-one correspondence between, the body that is sown and the body that is raised. Now, in order to do that, before I go to First Corinthians, again, I need to go to John chapter 2 and verse 19. Okay, let's just get there. And it says something like this: Jesus answered, apokryphe, apokryphe Jesus. Jesus answered them, and that's probably toys, destroy, this temple Naan, and in three tries, or tris, or whatever the case may be, days, I will, egero, I will raise it up. Okay, let's look at the Greek. Okay. It's early in the morning, guys. Sorry. I mean, it's, it's early. I ain't had my breakfast yet. I'm smelling it right at the table. All right, so let's go to John's Gospel. Okay. And then let's go to Corinthians and we'll finish up there. Thank God I didn't wake up my baby yet, though. Okay. And so this is 11. And so it's kind of dim, isn't it, though? It's all the way to the right, though. But is it, wait for a second, let me see. Is it, wait for a second here. Is it like half? Okay, well, let me see here, though. It's not all the way. Oh, I see. Now, if you hit this, though, then I can go all the way like that? Is it like that? No? Okay, so if I hit this, let me see. How can I go all the way? It's only half. Like this, I guess, maybe. Yeah, okay, good, fine. I think that's better. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I'm trying my best, believe me. I am legally blind, by the way. Just want to mention that also. So that's why I'm a little bit slower than a usual average person. Okay, because I'm taking a magnifying glass and reading this with a magnifying glass. Okay, verse 19, it says, Apokryphe answered, Apokryphe Jesus, in the nominative case construction, kai, linking word conjunction, kai, apen, said, toys to them. It's not toys, actually. It's not toys, actually. It's a third person personal pronoun from the plural part of the paradigm, dative plural. To them, lusate, destroy. Lusate, destroy. Tan naan, an accusative case construction. Accusative masculine, singular. Naan means temple. Destroy the temple. And it says this. Okay, so the this is after it. That's an adjective. Okay, tutan. That's also in accusative case. And in, kai, and 3, and that's trisin, actually. Trisin. Hemarais, 3, and in 3 days. Egero, I will rest a liquid future, egero. There's no sigma there, it doesn't need to be there. Egero, because of the rho. The iota was dropped off. That's a lexical form. I think I had an iota in the lexical form. Egero, okay, I will raise. Okay, I will raise. It, autan. This third person personal pronoun refers back to the antecedent, naan. Okay? That's the thing. The it that they destroy, meaning the temple that they destroy, is the same, temple that's going to be raised from the dead. The it corresponds right back to that antecedent. So it's not destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise up another one, or God will give me another one, or God will raise up another one, or there'll be another one. Destroy this temple and it will be annihilated by God to be held up in a memorial museum up in heaven or in a galaxy someplace, and God will give me another one. No, it doesn't say that. This is, a lot of people like to say in debates and campaigns, Muslims and Iglesia de Cristo, and people like that who deny the deity of Christ and deny resurrection, and people like and things like that. Muslims don't deny the resurrection, but I'm just saying that Jehovah's Witnesses and people like that who deny things in the Bible. All right, they say, well, it would have been the perfect time for God to say, okay, so let me say it. It would have been the perfect time for God to say clearly, cogently, 100%, absolutely, totally, okay, without any doubt, destroy this temple, and in 3 days God will give me another body. He doesn't say that, so we don't teach it. Okay. He will not allow your Holy One to see corruption. Now, if it was annihilated, if it was destroyed, if the body was done away with, it would have seen corruption. So Psalm 16 verse 10 would have been completely useless. And as a matter of fact, it would have been a lie, because it did see corruption. You will now allow your Holy One to see corruption. You see, something that was actually spoken also by the Apostle Peter at the day of 50, at the day of Pentecost. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get back to this. Let's get back to 1 Corinthians, okay? That's just the deal. I think my baby's about to cry, guys. Don't know. I hope not. That's where that den is gonna come in very handy, guys. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, so that's it right there. Oops. Oh man. Let me see it again here. Corinthians. And this is I believe that's a 15 iota epsilon, right? Let's go all the way to 42. Okay. All right, so let's go there. 43. And that's 42. All right, so it says over here, it says huto kai he anastasis, that's resurrection, don necron, of the dead ones, right? Of the dead ones. Necron is the genitive plural for the word, dead, right? Of the dead ones. Speretai. It is sown. Speretai. Spelled out sigma p epsilon iota with a acute marker. So speretai actually. Rho epsilon tau, nowadays called tau alpha iota. Okay. Is I for us, but in modern Greek is that diphthong. Okay. And then it says over here, en fethara egeretai, okay, and that's the word for, okay, it is raised. Okay, so just remember these two Greek words. Speretai means it is sown. Egeretai means, okay, it is raised. You see? Okay. Says over here, speretai in dishonor, athemia, okay, athemia, actually, athemia, and athemia, speretai and athemia. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised egeretai in doxe, glory. Spedetai, okay, it is sown in asthenea, in weakness. Okay, egeretai is raised in dunami, power. Okay. Okay, and about the natural body, spiritual body, well, let's conclude with this. Okay, because they're gonna say, well, it's a spiritual body, but they're gonna have a problem reconciling that thought with where it's found and recorded in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, where it says something like this, where three things are mentioned to be spiritual right there. So let's check that out. Beginning with verse 3. That's the Greek R. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, this is delicious, guys. If we can only read the Bible. It says over here, and all ate the same spiritual food. Wait a minute. They ate just spirit? Is that it? No. And all ate the same spiritual food. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So food is called spiritual right here. Thus far. And all drank the same drink. Does it say that? No, spiritual drink. For they were drinking from a spiritual rock, okay, which followed them, and that rock, okay, and the rock was Christ. Now, rock, drink, and food were very physical at that time. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, Moses hit the rock, and he hit it twice. Water gushed out. You understand what I mean? Just saying, he hit it twice, though. He wasn't supposed to do that. That's why he couldn't enter into the land. He did later on enter into the land. And you see that recorded in Luke chapter 9 and Matthew chapter 17, but still, in the flesh, he didn't get there because he hit the rock twice, but the rock was real. But it's called spiritual rock. Here, this is Angelo KykY giving glory to God the Father, to the Lord Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Spirit. God is not the God of the necron, of the dead, but of the living. And that means that Abraham and Isaac and Jacob were very much alive when Jesus spoke those words. And he used, a verb in particular. He said, I am. I am. You know what I'm saying? Amy, I am. Not I was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand what I'm saying? And incidentally, talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I mean, Millions Now Living Will Never Die on page, I had it on page 88, my copy, from Rutherford, right? Joseph Franklin Rutherford. Well, they never came back. Okay. He died in that mansion prepared for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There were 2 cars, by the way, in that mansion, around that mansion. Why only 2? Why Abraham couldn't drive? What, Isaac was too young to drive, or Jacob, somebody stole his license? What's the deal? No, they lied again about that. He said, the second president of the Watchtower, that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were going to return back to Earth around 19. He said that around 1918. He died in 1941. He didn't come back. So he prepared a mansion for himself, guys. He wasn't for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's no prophecy. Even the Jewish people don't celebrate, the return of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when Jesus was talking to those two, when Jesus was in the Mount of Transfiguration, incidentally, he can't be a God, by the way, because Luke uses a different Greek word than Matthew does in his account of the Transfiguration. Luke was speaking to the Greeks. He was writing to the Greeks. So if he were to use the same Greek word that Matthew did in Matthew chapter 17, he would have projected the thought that Jesus was becoming a God. See, a God. So the Holy Spirit rejected that, didn't use the same Greek word, and that proves that John 1:1c shouldn't be translated a God at all. Even though you have, you still, you don't even need that. I mean, you have the construction is in the predicate position, theos being a predicate adjective, and it's written first. And there are 10 different ways Stan Wallace says that a Greek noun can be definite without an article. See arche there in the text. Names are an article sometimes, and they're definite. Numbers and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? The devil. You understand what I'm saying? But that's food for thought. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory to God the Father, to the Lord Jesus Christ. Thanks, guys. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Very important to leave a comment of what you want to see in the future. So I guess that's in the future tense. Okay, that's just the deal according to the construction. Take care, guys. Bye.